So, Dr. Sandler,
Sir.
you can cure depression and anxiety.
Yeah. I just gave a little talk about what I'm also the last time we got an introduction to Carla, who was the first patient I presented in my book. A little introduction to a young woman who was suffering from a lot of anxiety, and she says really mean, nasty, derogatory things to her boyfriend, even though she tells me in subsequent sessions he's a very nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't deserve it. She knows he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. And you point out some of the preliminary defense, like a nervous laughter.
The laugh.
That
It seems to cover up, I suspect anyways.
Mm-hmm.
She's willing to go with that idea that it covers up something about the anger.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I'm thinking, well, where does it come from?
Yes. Yeah. And then this is what we'll see in this tape, more defenses.
Yep.
And where does it come from? So we'll get there in this tape.
We start to hear the backstory.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
You know, you come in with a problem of anger. It sounds like you really have a problem lashing out in anger verbally at Jimmy. But then it also, I get the impression that you may be covering something about the anger. Tense up and then laugh it off. And,
Yeah.
there's a problem with anger there.
I don't know, because he really doesn't deserve it. He
Doesn't
really
deserve
doesn't.
it. Well, I wonder where it comes from then. Did you grow up with anger? Did you grow up in an angry environment?
Yeah. Yeah, my parents fought a lot.
You did.
Yeah.
You mean verbally? Like you?
Verbally, physically. Yeah.
Oh, physically too.
Yeah.
You say that in a kind of a nonchalant manner. What do you mean they fought physically?
Oh, my mom would hit him.
Really?
Yeah. But not always. I mean, they got along sometimes, but when he drank a lot, she'd hit him, and they'd yell. And
But so she would hit him.
yeah.
And did he hit her back?
Oh yeah. He would throw chairs and
Throw chairs?
yeah.
Sounds pretty violent.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Wow. Again, I noticed just a little laugh and a little, I don't know if you're almost biting the corner of your lip or something. Yeah. Oh. So, a lot of domestic violence in the home.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you?
Gosh, it was so long ago. It's like it didn't even happen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you feel right now talking about it?
It's fine.
No feeling. It's a pretty dramatic story, huh?
I guess, yeah. I mean, it was hard.
So another good tape, I think, and this is a part of the same session that was happening in the one session, right?
Right.
The 1 hour. You
Right.
saw the first, few minutes, and now you're seeing the next few minutes,
Right.
and it's going on in a flow.
Mm-hmm.
And all of Carla's unconscious kind of trying strongly to hold on to something, to block on something. In the beginning, you saw, just a little nervous laughter, and but then now you see some more stuff, like you see that she's totally blank, and you call it denial. You label it. And there's another place where you say that, oh, there was about a feeling, and she says,
Yeah.
and you call it isolation of affect.
Yeah, as the story starts to unfold, and it's a bad story. There's
Yes.
alcoholism in
Mhm.
her dad. There's domestic violence between her parents. She tells the story, and then she says, "Well, it feels like a long time ago, like it never happened." So part of her mind goes to denial and says this never really happened, even though she just told us it happened. And then at another point, I ask her, "How do you feel right now?" And nothing. Isolation of affect is a fancy term for it. It just means we can tell an awful story and block the feeling, which is fine. It's a normal defense, but of course I want to get beneath that defense,
Yes.
because I want to know, what does she really feel about this? What does it all mean to her?
So denial and isolation of affect. Can you clarify the difference a little bit more? They seem to be doing the same thing.
Well, denial is when she says it seemed like it never happened. Isolation of affect means, yes, it happened, but I don't have any feelings about it.
Okay, so denial is denial of the whole thing. She's not
Yeah.
even going there.
Yeah.
Neither the memory or the feeling.
Yeah.
And in isolation of the affect, she's gone there, she's talked about the memory,
But there's
but
no
she's
emotion.
denying of the
Exactly.
affect.
There's no
So
emotion.
she's isolated the affect from the memory.
Right.
It's like, she's detached this and she's just talking about the memory.
Right.
And the affect is still being defended.
Right.
So it's stepping in gradually.
Right. For the neuroscience folks out there, she's talking about it with her frontal lobes, but the amygdala and the emotional brain is disconnected.
Mhm.
That's not
Mhm.
that's not online.
Mhm.
The amygdala is having a little nap as she speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these defenses she uses are, isolation of affect is relatively healthy defense. We talk about defenses being mature or immature, intermediate. Somebody who says, well, I get really upset and I cut myself, that's always an unhealthy,
Mhm.
psychologically immature defense,
Mhm.
as we would say it.
Mhm.
But isolation of affect is a very mature defense. It's
Mhm.
perfectly normal. We all do it sometimes, and we
Mhm.
all have to do it sometimes.
Mhm.
But still, it's in my way.
It's in your way.
We're not going to get any place if she keeps blocking the affect.
Yes, yeah. And as you work your way through, you do get to the memory.
Oh, eventually, yeah.
Eventually you do.
Yeah.
So it's a very surgical process. Like when we do plain surgery, we
Right.
say that
Right.
first you cut the skin, and then you cut the fascia, and then you cut the subcutaneous tissue, fat, and then when you reach the real thing. So you are,
Yeah.
you first see the symptom, and then you see the nervous laughter, and then you see more defenses,
Yeah, right.
and now you're to the memory.
Right.
But the memory too is still hiding. The affect is still being isolated.
Yeah.
So it's a very surgical kind of a thing.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
starts with the memories, but we're not really there yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the memory is horrible.
Oh, she has terrible memories. It's just terrible memories.
Yeah.
And not everybody that has anxiety or anger problems has such a terrible backstory, but she has a story full of alcoholism and domestic violence and more, as
Yeah.
we shall see.
Yeah. So there's a reason the poor girl's unconscious was at work trying to put it aside.
Oh, yeah.
Because, whenever she had those experiences, she couldn't deal because she didn't have the framework to understand that and
Right.
deal with it. So all the brain could do was just shove it inside somewhere that,
Yes.
that we don't want to deal with it.
Yes, it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
So she did the best she could. She grew up. She made a decent life for herself.
Yeah.
She has a job as an X-ray tech, and a nice boyfriend.
Yeah.
But all of this is beneath the surface,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So it helped her that otherwise, if this kept popping every day into her life, she couldn't do anything. She couldn't read, she couldn't get an education, she couldn't work, she couldn't make a living, and
Well,
because
right.
the memory would keep popping in, so it had to be pushed in.
Right. So the defenses serve a good purpose.
They serve a
They
good
keep
purpose.
us at bay. Unfortunately, the symptoms are bleeding through where she's
Mhm.
got anxiety and she's got this nasty approach to her boyfriend.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we need to do something about that.
So you said that defenses serve a good purpose. So why is it a problem? Why don't you just let the poor girl go and say go home and
Yeah.
watch TV?
Fair question. Because of the symptoms.
Mhm. Because
She's quite symptomatic.
so the memories have been shoved away, but they are kind of
Yeah.
needling her, making her anxious, and
Right.
she's having these unexplained anger.
Right.
Things.
She can function day to day, but she's not really enjoying her life.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
says she can never relax. She's constantly anxious. That's not
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
not a way to live.
Yes, yeah. So so you go through the defenses, you get to a memory, but then you do more work later on that we will see in the next episode.
We shall see.
Right? You don't stop at the memory. You go more. You do some more work.
Right.
And often in a cognitive behavior therapy, if you get to this memory, then you take this memory that this was the learning source, that this is where you learned how to express your anger or how not to express your anger, and that explains some of your symptoms.
Mhm.
And so the memory is just a secondary tool to reach to a primary goal, that where did she get her cognitions from.
Mhm.
But you stay with the memory and more memories, because memory is more important to you.
Well, there's all this emotion buried with the memory, and I want to get to that.
The affect, that's what
Right.
keeps popping up.
Right.
You're hiding some feelings.
Right.
Some feelings.
Right. And when we open up the feelings, we hope we'll help her see what this all meant to her.
Yes. So next time we'll see the opening up of the feelings, I guess, right?
One of these times.
Okay, very good. So keep watching. So you'll see whether Dr. Sandler gets to the feelings next time, because that is the whole thing. This is a mystery. It's like you're digging deeper and deeper and deeper. He doesn't know where he's going. So he might find like a tumor inside, or he might find a cyst inside, or he might find a gangrene inside. He doesn't know, or he might find nothing inside, right?
Maybe.
So when you're doing that, all that's in your mind, that maybe
Yes.
it's a
Where are
while
we
you go to
going?
church and there is nothing there. Does that ever happen to you?
Very rarely.
Very rarely. So there is something. If the symptoms were strong, then there's bound to be something there.
Usually. I think some people have more of a genetically induced problem, but for her, we'll see that it's very much related to the chaos of her childhood.
All right, so let's stop here, and
Yeah.
we'll watch more of the memories and emotions hopefully next time.
I just gave it